That's the bottom. Let's call this meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. Welcome to the Swissvale regular meeting for August 6, 2025. Let's go through our roll call. Dr. Alfonso Wells could not be here this evening. Mr. Haynes is going to be running a little bit late, but should be here. Mr. Miser also is not going to be here this evening, so we're going to move to Mr. Quinn.
Wow, present.
Ms. Tripling,
I'm also present.
Ms. Swartzwelder,
Me too.
and Mayor Swartzwelder. Yeah. Wonderful. Let's go to public comment. First, we have Tracy Crombie Collins to speak about district business development.
Yes. So I'm here to tell you the story about my dad. Sometime in the 90s, long before I was involved in the politics of the borough, somebody decided that the business loop needed signs, and one of the loops is at Monongahela and Washington. But I'm here to remind you that Monongahela continues all the way to the Rankin border, and there are businesses there. And it has been a bone of contention for my family for a long time. The business loop excludes the end of Monongahela. There are actually more businesses from Washington Street to the Rankin Borough than there are in any other block on Monongahela except the Sherman block. And that's if all those businesses are open and operating. So I just wanted to make sure when we talk about Main Street matters and business development, that the businesses that are supporting Swissvale in that strip from Washington Street to the Rankin Borough are included. They are part of Main Street. It does include the triangle. It does include all the businesses from there up to Washington Street. And I just want to make sure it's thought of and included in any plan. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next, we have Mary Miller to talk about the MBI 3-year impact report. Yeah, no X on this side.
Okay, I'm Mary Miller. You all know me as the president of SEDCO, but I am also on the MBI Regional Development Committee. And all of you should have received an email containing the MBI 3-year impact report. I am going to encourage you all to read this report. It's really very interesting and it's very pertinent to our borough. The MBI has been helping communities all in the Mon Valley, all of our neighboring communities for 35 years. They've been helping Swissvale. They do a lot of renovations and business property development. They have a mix of properties for sale, for rent, and at affordable prices, at market prices. They've done work on Hawkins Avenue. I don't know if you know this, but right when you come out of Swissvale on Hawkins Avenue, there were all those derelict properties. They've purchased 25 properties, which they're demolishing and putting up new modular homes to replace them. So, I mean, that's approving Swissvale when you right on Swissvale and you see that. I mean, it's gonna make a big difference. They've done stuff in Swissvale, including schoolhouse apartments, the apartments up on Hawkins Avenue. So I'm here to remind you that as we're talking about demolishing properties, that we consider what we're gonna do with them. We don't need any more vacant properties for the borough to maintain. I'm sure Jordan doesn't want to have to maintain more vacant lots. Part of what I do on the Regional Development Committee is bring them ideas for properties that they can recap. Things that are possible for development, redevelopment, new housing, whatever. I would like to ask that as we talk about this and as properties come up, that I would be allowed to talk to someone with the borough about what properties there are and how they might fit into MBI's vision of what they can do to help us.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thanks you.
And thanks to MBI for the work they have done here in the borough. Next, we have Barb Grabowski to talk about SEDCO.
Hello, I'm Barb Grabowski, speaking today about SEDCO.
First up for your calendar planning in September 20th, that's Saturday. Along with Power, we're doing a Swiss Note cleanup. Details will be provided, but make a note on your calendar that Saturday morning. Second, I want to talk about our plan for revitalizing Smithfield business districts. The ones on Noble, Washington, Waverly, Monongahela, and the connected streets. We have started to put together a plan for that work, including with the County Economic Development Corporation with an eye toward the planning of grants, coordination with the borough. Should do a couple of things. One is do a good inventory of what we have in our business district, what businesses are there and are doing well, which ones have left. Do we have a business on the first floor, but the second floor, you have apartments, but they're not being rented, so they're unoccupied apartments, but an occupied business level off the street. Who owns the property? I think we've all found recently there are limited buildings that have been purchased by LLCs or out-of-state real estate companies. And rather than local people. That could be an issue. Vacant properties, we don't talk about that quite a bit. And the condition and status of the. Second, we plan on meeting and interviewing businesses that are in Swissvale to get a better idea. What they did to open that, what's working, what's not working. And or do some homework. What if they went to a bank to get a loan or financial assistance, what information did they need to gather? So that they could get the support they needed to open the business and get through the first couple of years. And finally, do a survey of residents, similar to what we did with active transportation committee. Likely an online service, but we'll be looking for ways to meet with individuals one-on-one. If they're not comfortable, don't have access to an online survey. Asking people some background information of who they are, how long they've lived here, their background, what kind of businesses they would like to see, where do they shop, and what their vision might be for Swissvale going forward. So that is just started. And hopefully we will shed light on Swissvale and our business, and we'll be keeping you posted.
Thank you. That concludes our public comments. We'll move on to our council actions. Our first category is minutes. If someone would like to make that first motion.
I move to approve the minutes of the June 25th, 2025 council agenda meeting and July 2nd, 2025 council meeting.
Second. Motion is on the table. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's move down to 4B, finance.
I move to approve the borough's fiscal paid bills in the amount of $1,741,312.04.
Second. Motion is on the table. Any discussion?
Pay the bills.
Pay the bills. Thanks for your all in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's move down to our resolutions, 4C.
I move to adopt resolution number 25-15, authorizing the submission of a grant application to the Allegheny County Gaming Economic Development Tourism Fund for funding to reconstruct Rankin Street.
Second. Motion is on the table. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I move to adopt resolution number 25-16, authorizing the submission of a grant application to the Allegheny County Gaming Economic Development Tourism Fund for funding to demolish the 10 dilapidated structure.
Motion is on the table. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I move to adopt resolution number 25-17, authorizing the submission of a grant application to the Pennsylvania Department of Economic Development Main Street Matters Program for funding to conduct a study of the Swissvale Business District.
Second. Motion's on the table. Any discussion? Let's vote. All in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's move down to 4D, contracts and agreements.
I move to approve the purchase of a 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe from Click Lewis Chevrolet in the amount of $59,155.47 under CoStar's contract number 013 E23291.
Second.
Motion's on the table, any discussion?
I think we're moving too fast.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
One no. Motion carries.
I move to approve a financing proposal from Community Leasing Partners to finance the 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe at an interest rate of 5.8% with a down payment of $16,063 and 3 annual payments of $16,063.
Second.
Motion's on the table, any discussion?
Same.
All right, all in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Opposed?
No.
All right, one no, motion carries.
I move to adopt ordinance 25-06, authorizing Swissvale to enter into an intermunicipal cooperation agreement with Rankin Borough for the collection of trash.
Second.
Any discussion?
I want to reiterate that through our discussions, Swissvale services will not be reduced at all. And I have full confidence in DPW to continue their responsibility and the amazing service that they provide to all of our residents while we pick up these additional areas to keep our costs down and allow us to have the best possible DPW staff in all of Western Pennsylvania.
All right, let's vote. All in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I move to approve an intergovernmental cooperation agreement with Rankin Borough for the collection of trash for the period of September 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2029, at an initial cost of $175,000 annually with a 5% increase in 2027, 2028, and 2029.
Second.
Motion's on the table, any discussion? All in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I move to adopt ordinance 25-07, authorizing Swissvale to enter into an intermunicipal cooperation agreement with Braddock Hills Borough for the creation of a joint regional police department.
Second.
Motion's on the table, any discussion?
Same thing, we thoroughly, went through, all the ins and outs of the cooperation and the community and how important it is for this collaboration to actually go into effect. So, based on all of our findings, this is best for both communities.
Amen.
All in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I move to adopt an intergovernmental cooperation agreement with Braddock Hills Borough to create a joint regional police department with the anticipated date of January 1st, 2026 for the implementation of the regional police department.
Second.
Motion's on the table, any discussion?
I reiterate my fellow councilwoman's. There's been a lot of work that's gone into this. And I think this has got the right agreement for the right time. And again, no services to Swissvale will be cut or reduced. In fact, we really strongly feel that this will enhance our operations.
All right, all in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's move down to 4E personnel.
I move to appoint, can I say Greg and Sarah? You guys decide. No, can we vote? Whoever was already sending this. I move to appoint Greg and Sarah as the legislative liaison between Swissvale Borough and the Pennsylvania Municipal League.
Second.
Motion's on the table, any discussion?
I think last week we had already discussed that. I can't remember who was already kind of sending out these emails and gathering this information, but I think it just makes sense.
the only thing I will say is, I will vote yes for this, but I warn us to resist the temptation to pass on all of our responsibilities to the staff. We were elected for certain roles. This may not be it, this may be it, who knows, but I warn us against deferring all of our responsibilities to paid staff. Paid professions then.
Yeah, and my suggestion for whoever was nominated here would be to, you know, as the goal is to solicit some feedback, just send an email with the deadline date, and whoever's responding that time, I don't think, especially if it is paid staff, that they don't need more on their plate to track us down. So if you respond in a timely manner, you're included. If you don't respond, that's us that needs to keep dropping the ball there. Ready to vote?
Yep.
All right, all in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
I move to appoint the following persons to the Swissvale Braddock Hills Regional Police Commission, effective immediately with a termination date of January 5th, 2026. Mayor Denise Schwarzwelder, Council President Christopher Ansel, Council Member Joshua Mizer, Council Member Angela Stribling, and Council Member Kevin Haynes.
Second.
Motion's on the table. Any discussion? All right, let's vote. All in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 4F, Transportation Advisory Committee.
I move to adopt ordinance number 25-08 to establish a transportation advisory committee.
Second.
Motion's on the table. Any discussion? Excited for the work y'all have done already and see it continue. All right.
How excited I am.
Well, let's go ahead and vote. All in favor of approving the motion as read, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That is our business. Keep this meeting going. Move down to our reports. We got 5A, COG report, but Stribling.
There's no COG report, we're on summer break, and that's my report.
All right.
Great report.
5B, Connect report. Does anyone else have anything? Dr. Alfonso Wells is not here right now. All right, no report there either. President's report, all I was going to report is that we will be meeting again after this session for an executive session to discuss matters of personnel. So council members, elected officials, stick around afterwards for that. There's report.
Quick report, just a few reminders, September 6th, we have our locomotion commotion, touch a truck. Sarah, would you like to?
Yeah,
say a few
if
things
you have been there, this is our third year. We started it for the Glasgow Centennial celebration and it was very, very popular. People kept asking, are you doing it again? Are you doing it again? So we are doing it again for the third year. Yeah, it's been very well attended. It's a lot of fun. It's a completely free event. Kids and grown-ups can come ride their bikes if they want to. If you want to, please feel free. We've had great connection with Bike Pittsburgh and some of the other Switch and Signal, other local companies that have taken part in it. So the library does some fun things with kids. So yeah, it's noon to 3 up at the Old West Junior High School at 7600 Evans Street. So we'll have more information in the newsletter and on the website and social media as well.
Yeah, if anybody wants to volunteer.
Yes.
Definitely get a hold of us. We can always use extra hands. And then September 13th, we have our food truck roundup and Fall Fest on Collingwood Avenue. That is from 2 to 6. And it will have food trucks, vendors, music, activities for kids. It's a very nice event. Leland Scales puts it all together with the committee and it's a fun event. So I encourage everyone to attend if you can and or volunteer or participate if you have something that you would like to display there. And then, of course, September 20th is the cleanup that Barb mentioned, 9:30 at the Powerhouse on Church Street. Do come and support Power. They are a great community asset and clean up our town because we can really use it. And just to mention, October 25th will be our Halloween parade and community days at Memorial Park. We're going to run it the same way we did last year and ask the community groups to host a booth or some type of game or activity, and yeah, it's gonna be a great event. And if you wanna, volunteer and or help with the games or booths, let us know. And that's my report.
Wonderful, thank you so much. How did National Night Out go last night? I saw you all sitting up.
Simple. Oh, and movie night, when is that?
August 15th, yeah, at Restoration Community Church's backyard. We watched the Minecraft movie. So kids can throw popcorn and yell chicken jack.
Oh. Good luck.
No, I just bought it.
On the brink.
All right, we've got a popcorn.
We've got.
Awesome, thank you. Wonderful, good. All right, let's move on to the Borough Manager's Report. Mr. Bassett.
Thanks, sir. Just a couple of things. The first thing, if you haven't seen it on the page of the paper on the news, Parkway will be closed from 9 p.m. Saturday until 5 a.m. Monday morning. So there will be a lot of extra traffic coming through Swissvale because we'll be open to the Swissvale exit. Although they are pushing people off, trying to push them off at Wilkesburg. It is open to Swissvale, so there's gonna be a lot of extra traffic, so prepare yourself. If you've been by the Borough Building today, pretty exciting. There's a lot of food going up today. It was from what looked like Friday, it looks a lot different today. So really some great progress. We're about 30% done, even though it doesn't look that way. But about 30% of the financial part of it is completed. So.
We built.
Third thing is traffic signal replacements. We got a grant, Edward got a grant last year to replace all the traffic signals on South Braddock Avenue from Robinson Street all the way to West Hutchison. They will be opening bids on August 12th next week, and hopefully by October, the new signals will be installed, and then we can look at the timing of those signals because there have been some issues. There's the major issues right now because of the bridge not being open, but we can look at those timing issues when the new signals are installed. Borough Building, looking forward to next month. Borough Building will be closed September 1st for Labor Day. Garbage and recycling will be delayed one day all week on the week, September 1st. And then the last thing I have is came to light a couple of days ago. Disabled kennel contract for our dog law officer expired at the end of February. I thought it was at the end of 2025. It's actually at the end of this month. So something we need to do to put on the agenda next month for discussion. This is what we're doing with this, whether we're doing it, soliciting new proposals, so but that'll be perfect. When is it? February, it already expired.
Last,
February
Earlier
28th.
this year.
right, okay, that's good.
So it is expired. They've continued to respond to, when the police call them for assistance, they continue to respond. We continue to pay them, but the contract is expired, so we need to either renew it or solicit proposal, whatever council's wishes are, but I'll make it an agenda item for you, for the agenda.
Can I ask, are we satisfied with that?
No,
Well, I was sitting here thinking about Mr. Bass's comments about looking for proposals, and the last time I did that, there were none, so. So, before we jump to anything, there's not a lot of options.
but it's better than what our residents have had to deal with. Our residents have been mistreated by Sable. I've heard many complaints from other boroughs, other neighborhoods. The service that's provided is rude, condescending, unprofessional. She's flat out told, I'll bring people next month, it's not the private testimony. In fact, that's will come this week. But they flat out have killed dogs while they were texting someone, sorry, the dog's dead, while they were trying to place the dog. So I really hope that we reach out to all of our neighboring boroughs and look for another outlet and opportunity.
I'm not aware of any of this, not one. So if the people have complaints about the service the animal control officer is providing, I need to hear that so I know what's going on. I have never heard one complaint about it.
I heard a lot.
Well, then they need to complain to me, so I know what's going on.
I'll send you one.
The second part of that is, I have reached out to our neighbors. There are very few options, if any, available. I've tried with the city of Pittsburgh, I've tried with Monroeville, because they have, city of Pittsburgh has a pretty substantial animal control department, and Monroeville has a full-time employee who does animal control. Neither of them are interested in anything, because it happened on us. I've tried to work with the COG about establishing something as a group, and that never went. So I understand when there's complaints, we had complaints in the past, but we changed the statement because of the issue with how animals were disposed. So I've never heard one of those complaints, so I guess I would like to speak to it.
Absolutely.
I would say, I mean, Mr. Batch and I talked about this earlier, I guess just yesterday as we were talking about the agenda. And, I did ask him, he's gonna look into, because I know Braddock Hills uses someone different, which I guess is gonna be relevant, the merged police department anyway. But I think he was going to, for the end of the month, the agenda meeting at the end of the month, kind of do a little research to see what options are there out there, so that we can have a guided discussion. I think in the meantime as well, if there are those complaints, I mean, because that's the thing, borough, according to the borough, there are 0 complaints filed borough for them. People, I know there was one earlier on Facebook this week about some interactions with Sable staff. Facebook is not like, the borough does not monitor those types of things for complaints. So I think if there are some of those, encourage them to reach out to the borough so that gives some basis to the borough to address it in that way. But we'll talk about it at the end of the month.
Yeah, sooner than later though, so we can
Yes.
get
I
all
mean,
the
it needs-
information.
This is what I've heard, not just, I have spoken to the person, I know they posted anonymously, we have spoken offline since then. I'm not gonna share the person's names right now, they can write comment if they want to. But there's also been other areas where this organization, I mean, someone I know rescued a dog, took it to the police department in that borough. Police called and she said, I'm not coming right now. And that person who found the dog had to sleep in a parking lot because they couldn't go home with the rescue dog because they had their own dog. And so they had to wait till the morning. Then they had to deliver the dog. And her argument was this is an abandonment. All he was doing was being a good Samaritan. And as he's saying, I'm trying to work to find a replacement, she said, sorry, 2 effing late. It's dead. And the situation that happened earlier this week with a resident of Swissville. Very concerning. And I've talked to other boroughs, other neighborhoods, other folks, and they've had similar complaints. So just because there's a lack of options, I'm not saying that any of us are late, especially our professional staff, we're about to solve them. But if we have to think outside the box, lean on me, I'll help try to find something. No way we have to do. I just think this does not represent the kind of service that our residents have come to expect, I think especially from our police, our DPW, our fire, we are the best. Why do we have to do second grade on this specific test?
All right, any comments? I'll wait until the end of the month to share my viewpoints and see those things. Let's move on to engineer's report.
So
Not Mr. Siskow, I'm sure.
So I'm Nick Rucker, I'm in for Bob, he's up in New England right now, so, I have nothing new to report today, but, I am here if there are any questions that I'll be able to Bob, so, but it's nice to be back. That's-
Welcome.
Any questions? Sorry, there's like an issue. There's an issue on Wayne Street. We'll be in touch. Let's go to the Water Authority report. Ms. Crombie Collins.
Hello, this is an overview of the board meeting that occurred on July 22nd. The Penvest Grant Phase 2 had 21 more replacements. There won't be any more work anticipated in Swissvale. So that is basically closed for where the borough stands. Phase 3, 57 of the 139 replacements were in Swissvale. Part of McClure is closed right now for, lead line replacement. The customer advisory council had met, and their next meeting is scheduled for September 16th. Mainline breaks, there were 56, the borough had 5, there were 192 distribution services or repairs, 46 were in Swissvale. We have a nice new delinquent chart that's part of, I know you can all see that in great detail. That is part of the report, and other business was conducted. There are documents available online, and if you have any or see any water issues, please contact WPJWA customer service at 412-243-6200. And that's my report. Any questions?
So thank you for all the lead line replacement. There are a lot of people that concerned specifically on brick roads. What's the timeline for the bricks to be replaced?
Yeah, I think I mentioned last month, or maybe it was 2 months ago, the final restoration is taking several months.
Right.
So I don't have any details, I don't have any specifics, but it is. Anybody can call customer service or call MS Consultants. That's on the letter that anybody that had replacement would have, and they can get an update.
Could you also ask them if they could refrain from leaving no parking in areas that they're not parking in anymore?
So that is a subcontractor, but I can let management know that. So you're saying they're putting out no parking signs.
Right. Pittsburgh Police, signs in Swissville for no parking. For like a month on end. People are showing up.
I need the specifics of that. You know, again, it's a subcontractor. They should not be using Pittsburgh Police signs. They should be using their own company signs, so you know who is posting that. And the posting should only be while they're there working, unless there is an issue where the street repair is problematic and they're leaving a sign up because there's
They had the
a not
whole
good
street blocked.
parking.
They had the whole street blocked.
What street?
All my neighbors came to me and they said, what is the borough doing? I'm like, whoa. Let's be clear, this is simple. Which is
Did
why,
anybody call customer service?
they called us. Tracy, that's who they called.
412-243-6200.
You're our liaison, right?
I am appointed by Swissvale to the board. I am a liaison to all 21 communities of the footprint that is in the footprint of the
Right,
authority.
right, that's why I'm
You're
asking,
the only one that gets a report from me personally.
that's why I'm asking the question. They're coming to us, knocking on my door.
So there is a clear protocol for that. 412-243-6200. And if they can submit the online app for the borough, and that would get delivered to me. So, I mean, any of those complaints come to me, but if somebody's telling you and I'm hearing about it 4 weeks later, I can't help.
Did you forward my share? About first.
Why didn't I don't know what's,
We haven't gotten any complaints. They're not calling us.
we had that one lady call.
We had one woman call and ask when it was gonna be done, and we said the same thing, that it's
There was
restoration.
also one, go.
Oh,
Online.
I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
go. So,
Shay usually sees those ones, but again, we tell them the same thing, it's a couple months, and they have
So they
to
asked
come.
for it.
They will come through.
That's it. Anything else?
yeah,
Right, thank you.
the go one, he's responded and explained the situation, that it's a temporary patch. And, it sometimes takes several months for that to be completed. But that's the only complaint we have. Pretty sure the same one on top. Because she said the exact same thing. It was in the online.
She left on my doorstep. Weekly.
Did you tell them to call customer service?
I filed online, I told them to go online, but. So,
They can do that at the water authority too.
I,
There's an online,
do that too.
I mean,
there's an email address.
it might
There's
be
an-
wise to encourage them to call water authority, because, I mean, yeah, but we don't, as you said.
It's not our-
It's gonna take two more steps, no matter what,
Yeah.
where they can call the authority, or
If we can get a more clear timeline, that would be helpful.
that is the timeline, several months.
Aggravating, but.
Yeah.
let's deal with it.
If I had a better timeline, yeah.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Let's go to the solicitor's report, Mr. Material.
Just one item this evening, I did receive a call from the attorney for the Smithfield Police Officers Association, who's expressed an interest in formally talking to the borough as the agreement moves forward, with Braddock Hills. I made them aware, of course, Braddock Hills has not formally approved that. I did say I would pass that along. It was a very friendly talk. Just wants that on the radar.
Yeah, we got it.
So I had.
Thanks. Any announcements? Hearing none, I would welcome a motion to adjourn at 7:38 PM.
Motion to adjourn at 7:30 p.m.
Second. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. See y'all later, folks.
Later.
Yeah, I'll second that.